The Duke Middle East and Europe program is a hybrid program which is housed in Berlin, Germany, that includes both a study abroad component with 2 courses focusing on migration, refugees, and immigration into Europe, as well as an internship with a local NGO called Kiran that works to grant refugees access to higher education.
What is great about doing a summer abroad program is actually to be immersed in life in another place. And think about the research that we're reading, the academic concepts that we're learning about through that experience, to really ground them in the experience of real people, what they do, what happens on a daily basis.
Taking classes and doing an internship at the same time was pretty interesting, especially being in a new environment. So it was exciting. We took class in the morning, and then in the afternoon we'd take the subway to a whole nother area of Berlin, and we would start working. And so we really got to experience a lot by doing.
It was really interesting to me to learn that there was a need for refugees both in Germany and abroad in Europe to access higher education, because it's not really a problem that I had thought about before, but it really is a necessity for them to access good jobs in growing economies and more modern economies. So that was really interesting to me, and the fact that I think 1% of refugees have access to higher education was crazy. And I thought it was really cool that Kyron was addressing some problem that people don't really think about or talk about.
The class that I was teaching focused, it was called Transnational Muslims, and it focused on this question of transnationalism, especially through migration, and how through migration, through formation of diasporic populations, migrants created new spaces and new citizenship practices and new identities in their destinations.
So I feel like this program was really focused on real life experiences, both by providing us with a job opportunity and internship opportunity with tangible outcomes, and also through our study, because in the class Transnational Muslims, we focused on the area where we were staying and the interaction of the German people and the Turkish or Syrian refugees, and so we got to kind of study a very tangible and real life field, which was really exciting and something that a lot of us had never really done before.
The seminar that I offer, Culture and Politics Between Europe and the Middle East, presents the historical background between Europe and the Middle East over about a 100-year period, to give the students some understanding of the sustained engagement between European communities and polities and those in the Middle East.
I would say that it's really great. You learn a lot of in-depth information about the relations between Europe and the Middle East, specifically Germany and Turkey. And then you also learn a lot about Turkish immigrants to Germany. So you learn a lot about the experiences they have. You go on field trips where you learn a little bit more about their communities. And you have 2 professors who are Turkish, who can give you a certain perspective that you might not get from text. So that's really awesome. And then you get the other side of the coin with Kyron, where you're learning more about refugees, which is a little bit different than the immigrants, but they still share similar issues in terms of education or lack of access to education.
So students, through the readings that we did, but also through their work in Kyron, became very much aware of the challenges of migration, of displaced people, how hard it is, and how there are so many opportunities to do something helpful and meaningful for those students.
This hybrid program is innovative. It's the first program of its kind at Duke, and it brings together both an understanding of the intellectual frameworks of migration and immigration and real-world experience through civic engagement.